I stand here to represent 7 million direct members of NLC with 47 affiliates covering all the nooks and crannies of this country, both in the formal, informal, and public sectors of our economy. And therefore, I request for your special protection, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, because we don't want all the 49 affiliates to come and speak here, and that's why I'm trying to consolidate our position.
Not only are you protected, I'm actually giving you 5 minutes and not 3.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the Nigerian Labour Congress is a pan-Nigerian organization that represents the interests of every shade of opinion in our polity, and that is why our approach to issues of national development have been guided by cohesion, the issue of justice, fairness, and equity. I've tried to categorize my presentation into two. One is on core labor issues and issues of socio-economic, cultural, and political issues. Mr. Chairman, on core labor issues, of recent there have been some recommendations to remove labor and the minimum wage from the exclusive list. And I think it's very important for me to lay this foundation why those two issues are actually in the exclusive list presently. Globally, Mr. Chairman, labor matters are governed by international labor standards. As prescribed by International Labour Organization, those international labor standards are adopted by international labor conventions. And gladly, Nigeria is a member state of the International Labour Organization, the first agency of the United Nations, which was formed in 1919 after the First World War. To date, Mr. Chairman, Nigeria have ratified 40 international conventions of the ILO, and already 26 are fully enforced, domesticated by the National Assembly. And importantly, the 8 core conventions that deals with labor, freedom of association, the right to organize, including the issue of the minimum wage, all have been ratified by the National Assembly and also domesticated in our national laws. It will therefore be anomalous, incongruous, and contemptible of global standard, and to even contemplate removing labor from the exclusive list, this will be tantamount to renouncing Nigeria's ratification of those conventions and repudiating Nigerian membership of the International Labour Organization. So therefore, I submit that on the basis of these facts, Your Excellencies, labor and minimum wage shall continue to be on the exclusive list. Let me also try to guide you on the national minimum wage. As we have said time without number, the minimum wage is also guided by a convention, Convention number 26 of the International Labour Organization, which Nigeria have domesticated many years ago in 1971. The national minimum wage is also not imposed on states. It's a process. All the governors are represented by one governor per each of the geopolitical zones at the negotiating table. So also employers of labor in the organized private sector, medium and small-scale enterprises, and therefore all the factors are considered: ability to pay, the cost of living, inflation, all those factors were presented. And happily, Rochas Okorocha was a member that represents some of his governors from his region on that committee and many other governors. This has been the process. And therefore, the 30,000 naira that was agreed was not imposed on anybody by federal government. It was the process allowed by law that was adopted. So at this point, to come and say, well, remove it from the minimum wage because of federalism is also false. As I speak to you, 26 federal states across the world, including the United States of America and Germany, who have practiced federalism for over 200 years, have minimum wage preserved in their national laws. In our document, those issues have been made very clear. Minimum wage is about setting a minimum benchmark for all employers of labor to actually implement so that workers are not exploited. That's the principle. As I speak to you, the whole of Europe is now considering a minimum wage for the whole of Europe because of the issue of labor migration in countries where they have favorable and higher minimum wage. Mr. Chairman, this is the preamble, and those have been captured in our document. On the other issues which we are speaking on is the issue of local government autonomy, independence of the judiciary and the legislature arm of government, socio-economic and cultural rights, including the reforms that are needed in the judiciary, the electoral system, the issue of immunity clause, and also the issue of state creation, including local government creation, and a new revenue sharing formula that is also desirable. On the local government autonomy, Chairman, our position is very explicit. We want full autonomy for our local governments so that they can be recognized as third tier of government, both economically and politically, so that they can be able to play their role successfully, with also a caveat to ensure that the salary of primary school teachers is guaranteed. On the judiciary, there is no doubt that judiciary is an arm of government, and therefore we need to also ensure their full autonomy, especially for national autonomy, so that they can be able to play their role effectively. Same with the state legislators. On electoral reform, Mr. Chairman, a lot has been said about this. We want a situation where the vote of every woman and the vote of every man will count. It should be one man, one vote, one woman, one vote. And therefore, the deployment of technology is very, very important to make sure that we are able to also reform our electoral system, including the very important issue that the former governor of Edo State have laid, and I don't want to repeat that. On the socio-economic rights, we demand that the right enshrined in Chapter 2 of the 1999 Constitution under review should also be made justiciable. And on the issue of gender, a lot have been said about that. We want them also to be mainstream, including provision for a special provision in the two chambers of the National Assembly to also provide for this very special group. Mr. Chairman, on the issue of immunity, Labour demand that all elected public officers holders should not enjoy immunity from prosecution on criminal cases. Let me repeat, criminal cases. But we allow that on civil cases, so that they are not distracted from office, we can have such an immunity. This is what is applied globally, and therefore Nigeria should not be an exception. And on residency and indigenous issue, this issue has been laid very clearly also. We adopt what we have agreed, because NLC also participated in the 2014 conference, in the amendment process of the 7th and 8th National Assembly, and all the issues I've quoted have been the position that NLC have laid, and all those positions have been upheld, including the issue of core labor issue that I've said. On the issue of devolution of power, lastly, Your Excellency, there is need to review the current revenue sharing formula, actually to the advantage of local governments and states. It is very important because some of those responsibilities certainly should go to them. And therefore, our prayer is very straightforward. They are contained in the 71-page memorandum that we have submitted for your consideration. And I so adopt those prayers in the 71-page memorandum that we have submitted to you. Thank you, Your Excellency, for giving us this